Jesus-level sort of technologies, miracles of science. When you hear a quote like that, you probably assume we're talking about ancient history, right? Or maybe theology, but we're not. We are talking about the very near future of human engineering. This is literally how Elon Musk recently described the breakthroughs happening behind closed doors right now in a wide-ranging late-night interview. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack these absolutely profound technological claims.
I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this roadmap today. We're looking at Elon Musk's complete vision for the future, and it is a wild ride. It's a journey that moves from fixing everyday traffic all the way to ushering in cosmic exploration and mind-bending medical breakthroughs. At the center of the whole shebang is one single, powerful concept: extreme abundance. We're going to look at the exact steps Musk believes will get us there, and more importantly, what it means for all of us once we actually arrive.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. Our 5 pillars today are: number 1, cars that feel alive; number 2, robots and universal high income; 3, becoming a spacefaring civilization; 4, Jesus-level medical miracles; and finally, 5, finding meaning in abundance.
So, let's kick things off with Section 1, cars that feel alive. Transitioning from these broad futuristic concepts down to the immediate reality on our roads, Musk's core AI philosophy relies entirely on mirroring human biology. Think about it. Just as we drive using a biological neural net, our brains, and vision from our eyes, Tesla's full self-driving takes the exact same approach, just digitally. They don't use radar or LiDAR. They use a digital neural net and cameras. It's essentially taking human biology and mimicking it in code.
Now, you might be wondering, is this all just theoretical? Far from it. Fully autonomous vehicles are already operating without any humans inside. No safety monitors, nothing. In 3 cities down in Texas right now, with wider rollouts planned. And what's really fascinating here is how Musk describes the experience of this software improving over time. He says that the car actually feels like it's becoming sentient. As the digital neural net learns, the car increasingly feels like it's, well, alive.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is this staggering prediction. Musk believes the path to cars driving an order of magnitude safer than humans is now glaringly obvious. Because of this, he estimates that in just about 10 years, 90% of all distance driven will be handled by AI. Think about that for a second. In a decade, manually driving your own car could become a niche hobby, kind of like riding a horse, rather than a daily necessity. The car won't just be your vehicle, it'll literally be your driver.
Which brings us right into Section 2, robots and universal high income.
If a Tesla is basically a 4-wheeled robot, what happens when you give that digital brain arms and legs? Well, Musk predicts a massive shift. He says the ratio of intelligent humanoid robots to humans will soon be greater than 1-to-1. Yep, there will be far more intelligent robots on Earth than people. He envisions a world where everyone has their own personal robotic assistant. Think along the lines of a C-3PO or R2-D2, but highly capable and totally practical for everyday chores. And honestly, he expects a lot of people will want more than one.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the profound economic math behind all of this. Look at the traditional formula for economic output. The output of any economy is basically the productivity per person multiplied by the population. Pretty simple, right? But when your population suddenly includes millions, or even billions, of highly productive humanoid robots that can work tirelessly 24/7, that formula absolutely explodes. Musk believes this catalyst will result in an economy that is 10 to 100 times bigger than what it is today. No joke.
Because of that explosive economic growth, Musk says we aren't just going to need a universal basic income to survive. We're going to enter an era of universal high income. This isn't just about covering your rent and groceries. This is an economic state of extreme abundance. In this kind of future, practically anyone can have whatever goods and services they want. The traditional constraints of scarcity just melt away when robotic labor becomes essentially infinite and cheap.
All right, moving on to Section 3, becoming a spacefaring civilization. Extreme abundance on Earth is really only half of the roadmap. Let's zoom out and look at SpaceX. While most people know SpaceX makes rockets, the true breakthrough lies with Starship version 3 and its goal of full and rapid reusability. This isn't just an engineering upgrade, folks. Musk calls this specific technological leap the fundamental breakthrough, a literal fork in the road for human history. Without full and rapid reuse of all rocket parts, space travel remains prohibitively expensive. But with it, the stars suddenly become accessible to us.
And why does making space travel incredibly cheap and rapid matter so much? Well, it culminates in these ambitious survival goals for our species. Once we master that rapid reusability, we can officially make life multiplanetary. We can extend human consciousness beyond Earth. And ultimately, this paves the way to build self-sustaining, self-growing cities on the Moon, on Mars, and maybe elsewhere in the solar system. It's basically the ultimate insurance policy for humanity.
This brings us to Section 4, Jesus-level medical miracles.
Bringing the narrative all the way back from the cosmos down to the microscopic world of the human brain, let's move to and see how Neuralink builds this up step by exciting step. Neuralink is creating a direct cybernetic interface between your brain and AI. Step 1 is actually already happening, restoring the ability for tetraplegics to use computers and phones just by thinking. But Step 2 is where it gets miraculous. They're working on taking signals from the motor cortex, bridging past a severe spinal injury, and sending them to a second implant to reanimate the body so people can walk again. And Step 3, it's called blind sight, an implant designed to give sight to the blind, even those who were blind from birth, with the potential to eventually offer superhuman, hyper-precise vision. Restoring sight, allowing the paralyzed to walk, these are exactly the Jesus-level miracles Musk is talking about.
And that leads us to our final pillar, Section 5, finding meaning in abundance.
So with sentient cars, a massive robotic economy, cities on Mars, and actual medical miracles all converging at once, Musk poses a pretty fascinating question. What does the best possible future look like? He argues it's exactly what you see here. A world where incredible medical care can cure almost anything. A world where absolutely no one goes hungry. A world where people are completely free to pursue whatever passions they want because robotic labor takes care of all the grunt work. Now, he does neutrally acknowledge that we have to remain careful regarding AI safety. You know, the dystopian Terminator outcome is a non-zero risk that definitely requires vigilance. But overall, he views this utopian abundance as the most likely and best possible outcome.
But utopia brings its own strange paradoxes. When envisioning a world of perfect peace and love, Musk introduces a really fascinating tension. He asks, do you want a world where there's no conflict? But how do you achieve a world of no conflict at all without some form of suppression? It really forces us to consider the unexpected costs of a flawless society. Total, frictionless peace might actually require stripping away some of the messy freedom that makes us human. It suggests that maybe a little bit of conflict might actually be necessary for a truly free society.
Which brings us to the ultimate question, and the thought I really want to leave you with today. We are accelerating toward a reality of universal high income, a place where AI and humanoid robots can do virtually anything better, faster, and cheaper than we ever could. When survival is no longer a struggle, and work is no longer a strict necessity, how will you derive meaning in your life? What is the specific future that you want to build? It's a deeply personal question, but as this roadmap shows, it's one we are all going to have to answer very soon. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the future.